Assalamu alaikum. Welcome everyone and good evening. I'm Tanzila Afrin and inviting you all to join Sdg Talk 2022 on behalf of Maslow Bangladesh and Global Center for Innovation and Learning. Right now, I am handing over the session to the Honorable Founder and CEO, GCFIL USA, Mr. Shakil Malik.
Thank you
Sir,
so much,
welcome.
Tanzila. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody from Washington, D.C. in USA. And great to have you all with us. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to continue the conversation on SDG Talk that we have started a couple of weeks ago. আপনারা সবাই জানেন যে আমরা এসডিজি টক আয়োজন করেছি এই জন্যই যেন আমরা এসডিজি সম্পর্কে জানতে পারি আরো ভালোভাবে এবং সেই এসডিজির পরিপ্রেক্ষিতে আমরা যেন আরো ভালো কাজ করতে পারি আমাদের স্পেশালি আমাদের ইয়াং জেনারেশন যারা ইউথ ডেভেলপমেন্টের মধ্যে আছেন যারা ইউথ ওয়ার্কফোর্স ডেভেলপমেন্টের মধ্যে আছেন তারা নিজেদের স্কিল নলেজ বেসটা ভালো করতে পারি আমরা এবং আমরা আমাদের এসডিজি গোলসগুলোকে অ্যাচিভ করার জন্য যেন আমরা ভালোভাবে কাজ করতে পারি সেটার জন্যই আমরা কাজ করছি তো সামনে এসডিজি সামিট চলে এসেছে অলমোস্ট ভেরি ক্লোজ বাই আই থিঙ্ক ইটস নেক্সট উইক ইন কক্সেস বাজার সো উইথ টুয়ার্ডস দ্যাট গোল আমরা চাচ্ছি যে ডিফারেন্ট টপিকস আমরা আপনাদের কাছে প্রেজেন্ট করেছি আজকের টপিক খুবই ইন্টারেস্টিং একটা টপিক এবং আমাদের সাথে আছেন অসম্ভব একজন গুণী মানুষ যিনি আমাদের সাথে জয়েন করেছেন কানাডা থেকে আজকের টপিকটা হচ্ছে নেগোশিয়েটিং পাবলিক স্পেসেস এক্সক্লুশন আইডেন্টিটি অ্যান্ড ওমেন ইন পাবলিক স্পেসেস সো খুবই একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট টপিক এবং আমরা অনেক কিছু জানতে পারবো আজকে এই টপিকটা সম্পর্কে কিশোর হাবিব ইজ আওয়ার প্রেজেন্টার টুডে এবং স্পিকার কিশোর হাবিব ইজ এ পোস্ট ডক্টরাল ফেলো at the University of Alberta in Canada. She has been a VLIRO's research fellow at the Department of Architecture at the University of Louvre. She is practicing architecture at Reimagine Architects in Canada. Along with that, she also took part in various international urban design projects that integrate architecture, open public space design, planning. Exploring practiced and lived in architecture is an integral part of our research and practice within a keen interest in public spaces and institutional spaces, ethnographic research and fieldwork, sustainable design and analysis. Reimagining public space and building environment in the post-pandemic world is her upcoming co-edited book. She has a PhD, MAH in urban design, B architect from LEED, Green Associate, and postdoctoral fellow at the University of Alberta. So thank you so much, Kishwar, for joining us. We are very fortunate to have you joining us today, this morning. And now I hand over to you to, explain to us the exclusion issues, the identity issues, and women in public spaces. So we can have a broader idea how we can learn more about this and also contribute in our community where we can really achieve the sustainable goals for the future of Bangladesh and of course globally. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Shakil Bhai, for your nice introduction and kind introduction. And it's my pleasure to be here and participate SDG Talk for the Youth Alliance. I'll try my best to make it interesting for the audience. And let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? My screen is visible? I cannot hear anyone.
Sorry, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not
Okay.
yet. Please try. And dear audience who already joined with us, please share our program and thanks for watching today. Kishore
Isn't
ma'am is right now going to deliver her presentation.
okay? Let me try again.
It's okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Goes wrong. So is it good to go? Okay.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Please,
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure that we are in
please,
the right path.
please start.
Yes.
Thank you.
So welcome everyone. Welcome. And it is in Canada. It's in the morning, 8:13 a.m. in the morning, and in Bangladesh it's 8:13 p.m. So we are almost in the same time zone, day and night difference, right? So today my topic is negotiating public space, exclusion, identity, and omen in public spaces, and I will focus on Dhaka. So before we jump into the public space, I would like to talk about the conventional notion of separate space, gender space, and women's boundary. And we have seen that it has been institutionalized in the Bengali language. So in a way, gender space and spatial boundaries, it's not only in the Bengali culture or in Dhaka in Bangladesh, it's actually everywhere. But if we look at the Bengali synonyms for the word for woman, it says Antapurika, Puranari. So those words comes with the prefix pur or Antapur, which means home. And in contrast, women that do not belong to the conventional home are called potita and Virangana, right? And those words. And we can see those words gone, bar, jan, it means public and it conveys a negative connotation. So there is this Bengali uh, literature. We can find this word, how this woman who belongs to home, how they are defined, and the woman who doesn't belongs to home, which is more public, how they define woman. So, and also conventionally, a woman in Bangladesh derive her status in her from the family, right? And it evolves through the maintenance of the family as a social institution, as an economic entity. And within this context, home is actually a legitimate and sanctioned domain for women in our culture. Then we also see the recent history of Bangladesh, and we know that women participate and stepped out from this prescribed world and participate event of national cultural significance and contribute to the Bangladeshi or Bengali cultural identity that we have at the moment now. And women also now have a greater presence in the workforce, challenging conventional expectations about their presence in public space. So today's talk actually aim to trace basically how are women today encouraged to venture in public spaces as an woman. You can also question yourself, and how do actually women negotiate public space in their everyday life. So to find the questions, I would like to focus in Ramna area, and as you all probably know, that Ramna is it's a park-like environment. It's an in between. You can see here old part of the city, and this is the new part of the city. So this Ramna area basically in between all the new part of the city, and it comprise of university campus and other public institutional buildings within this park-like environment. And also, we know Ramna as a symbolic place of Dhaka, right, where men and women regularly rally and demonstrate in public space. So while Ramna institutional space appears to be us, that it is relatively a gender balanced space in Dhaka. So we would like to see if the space is gendered. So as a taking it as a case, um, more recognized as a gender balanced space, we would like to see like if the place is really gender and it reflects the domain of socio-cultural gender separation in this space. Before we jump into Ramna, we would like to discuss, or I would like to show here, like the notion of gender space in the Bengali culture. We can trace back in 17th century, while some women used to participate income generation activities. So, but we saw that during the literature shows actually that during that time, honored and dignified women from Hindu culture or Muslim or from any culture or any religious point of view maintained parda. So the social reformers began basically during colonial time, and we saw that women first time in the public space as a recreational purpose. So in the picture, you can see the women are watching polo game and also for attending horse race. So this is the first time ever in this history that a woman comes out from their prescribed zone and outside for recreational purpose. But while the working women, like dancing girls during that time, basically who dance after the horse race were given little respect. So during also this time, like colonial period, we saw there is abolish of sati daho, then there is increase the age of marriage that comes up, then the allow of widows to remarriage. So those are the reforms comes out during this time. And within this extreme Porda culture, Begum Rokeya was the first woman in the Bengali history that comes out in the public discourse and establish the schools, first women's school or girls' schools for the Muslim women girls in our education. And the establishment of Dhaka University in Ramna in 1921 by the colonial government, the British government, right, that create unprecedented opportunity for women actually to come and then educate along with the men, right, and also we saw that 52's liberation movement, or in 52 language movement, and also in 71's liberation movement, women actually participate beside men. And so this appearance of women in Ramna actually it's took an increasingly symbolic value for the Bengali struggle to establish cultural identities. So women's performance in Ramna area is very, very important since the colonial time and until now. So if we see the central part of the city historically associated with women empowerment and women studying and residing in Ramna institution areas seen in front of any media coverage in cultural and political manifestations throughout the year. So this is a very common picture that you will see happening in Ramna. So, but when we visit Ramna area from a group from University of Leuven, Belgium, and we make a workshop, and we notice that there is a remarkable differences between the gender use of public space and the observation that we are having actually on that space. So how the middle class people, like students, professors, or other people are defining Ramna area and how they actually access public space. So when we talk about what is public space for, Ramna people or the students and in Dhaka, people says it's man and woman. Both they actually says public space meant for all. And men and women have equal access to public space. It is for everyone, and it is a shared space. So these are the very remarkable and encouraging statements while we interviewed from the people. And they say equal rights, equal access, but when we are observing or also in the interviewing, semi-structured interviewing, and also playing in Ramna area, which I will explain later, we will find that the story actually shows a different than what the people actually says about public space access of women. So what we did is we choose the TSC area to be really focused on that space and see what's happening in that area. And it it is basically the TSC is more like gender balance place, right? Center of almost Ramna area, and the man of, but still we find that man and woman ratio is really different. Like man ratio is higher in this area, even if it is a more gender balanced space than woman. And also we find like we went every weekdays for 2 weeks time, and then and also weekends, and find and how this these days basically impact their participation of man and woman. And also we find like there are some cafes in that area, or food street or vendors, uh, and their location actually impact or give people or the omens to access those spaces. For example, the cafe is open, so during the morning and afternoon women were present in the area where is basically the near the cafe, and locate themselves. As you can see, the omens, they are sitting really in an open space, and very much uh, locating where they are basically. So it's very much exposed space they would like to sit and comfort with. And then when we also saw that after the class or during the break, usually women comes to this plaza and sit here and eat. And then they are, on the other hand, boys or men in the area, they hang out, they goes everywhere. So if you see these dotted spaces, it's not that clear. I'm sorry for that. You can see those, the red spaces are basically all the mans or boys, and here and blue is the woman. So you can see they are in a small um, gathering space where they would like to stay with other girls, rather than mixing with in this whole area. And it's during other part in late afternoon and evening, and you can see the increasing people are coming here, and still the women participation is less. And omens are basically again in a group in this area. So it shows also why man and woman use that space. So man have any reason to be there, and when we are talking with the woman, we always find they have some reasons to be there, because they want to eat something, or they are waiting for their friends, or they are going to take the bus, or their class is just end up, so they are waiting to be picked up by their parents. So there is a reason to be in the public space. Or on the other hand, man doesn't have any reasons. They just here and then enjoying. It's hot here, we are enjoying, we are gathering with the friends. So there is a considerable difference why women actually in public space are here. And also like a small number of elderly women or girls are also seen during this period. They are selling flowers, chocolates, like small vendors. But when we are talk with them, they are actually never alone. They are in a huge network group who are supporting each other. If there is any something wrong with one woman, or the small girl who is selling the flower, there is supporting people who can come and actually help them. And and also that is a part of group. So there is a group involved in that, numbers of the vendors, and as well as a man is involved. So these small vendors, or the small girls, they are also not alone in the public space. So they always have some shelter behind them, and that's how they come to the public space and do their business. And obviously, during these cultural manifestations in TSC area, there is a presence of women during this time, and that is different basically from everyday life, what is going on. And then the manifestations like 31st night, or New Year, Bengali New Year, and other cultural festivals, you will see there is a considerable number of women. So it also shows that basically during the everyday presence, Ramna area basically help women to come, because it's an educational space. So this education is an important factor in this place where women got access to public space in everyday life. And then I was talking about playing a game. So we actually give this drawing to the local people in the TSC area. So you can see this is a TSC triangle in the middle, and we put some locations, and we give some people, like young people, a man, then vendors, and we ask them, okay, you have to take the stickers and put the people in the right place. So that was a game. And remarkably, we find that women were always post or put in a very safe place, where during the daytime. So the nighttime sticker placement, or the right person on the right place game, we did not find that there is no omen basically during the nighttime. So only during the daytime we find that they are positioning in a way that it's very visible, it's very purposeful. So omen is there near the bus stop because they have to take the bus. Omen is there near the cafe shop because they have to take the coffee. Omen was sitting on the steps of the TSC because she's waiting for the friends or with the friends. So it is always with the purpose. But during the nighttime, there is no omen because it's not wise to be outside during the nighttime. So that is one of the interesting thing came out. And then we also say that people also say that it is not accepted in Bengali culture for omen to wander around the public space. So that's why they choose a location. And also it was mentioned that women who are hanging around alone and without any clear purpose are considered as being available. So which is also looked at like seem out of this place and lose character. So those are the terms that comes out while we are discussing why not woman is there without any purpose, like why she have to always be with someone. Then you should have to pursue a job that fits in parents' idea of what is appropriate. So when you are talking about with the woman, we saw that, okay, what is their social special gender boundary. So we are talking about the freedom that they enjoy, and they said that it's because of the education. So the pursuing the education gives them the freedom from coming out from the house. So if you even come out from the house, you are living with the family without any purpose as an woman, it's not encouraged for the woman to come out. So the education gives them the liberty to come to the public place and enjoy. There is also another points comes out that higher education give women a good marriage partner for themselves or for their daughters. So and women cannot pursue any job, so it's always have to be fit with the parents' idea of what is appropriate. So even you have to pursue job in public space that need to be support from your family, and then only you can pursue your dream. On the other hand, for the men, it is easier to do anything you like. This is another game. You can see there is a line, and this is from the omens. So here we put several stuff, like there is a police gatherings, there is an rally going on in Ramna, and there is some other activities going on. So, and we give these conditions, and we ask omens, students in this area, that okay, can you draw how you would go from A to B space? And you can see the omens, they draw their line, and it is in a curve in a way that they want to be they don't want to be going into the hassle place, so they save themselves from the hassles and in a clear path, so without any hassle they can go to the A to B. So they are not interested to see what's going on in that corner or what. But in case of the here also the woman says that during these things when we are traveling, the hijab actually makes us comfortable. And if you even don't have hijab, so it's if you have different cultural background or religious background, even covering your head is make comfortable in the public space, and because people respect and people keep distance from me. So how the women actually negotiate this public space to avoid the discomfort, right? And then if we go for the third one, and you see this is from the man, and it's a very straightforward. So the man wants to, it is one of the example from many, that man's is a clear cut, so they want to see what's going on in the rally, and then they want to straightly go from A to B without any hassle. And comparing to the middle one, which is an omen, they really clearly define their paths without for avoiding any difficulties. And you can see the man's way of walking in the public space, which is as per wish and very clear cut. So one of the men says, I would like to walk to see the most interesting thing. I want to see what is going on, where or everywhere. That is man's excess of public space. So from our observation to mapping and the playing, it is clear cut observations and findings that we find, and how man and woman talks about the equality and how they actually behave uh, is it's really different. So men enjoy full rights over public space, whereas women places require more complex negotiation of space so that they looks good. They are uncomfortable for some of the situations. So that is how they actually negotiate the public space, even it is a most equal or highly valuable or culturally valued space in Bangladesh. So the result actually, what this found is that how this reproduction of gender roles actually mediate through the social behavior. Men do not report many limitations in public space. On the other hand, women actually, on the other hand, entitled to equal access, but it is not equal in this, as I mentioned. So there is a negotiation of the dress codes, like full arm clothes, hijab, using hijab, or using the dupatta to cover yourself in some uncomfortable situations, to make sure they have also the functional reason to be there. So the women make it clear cut statements why I'm in public space. So this special arrangement it shows that there is not dramatical change that happens from the conventional gender space to now, and here it's more belongs, the excess of public space for women belongs to more comfortable and more in a negotiable way. And it's culturally uh, in our culture, this gender space, and even it is prevail in the heart of the capital city. So many women says they would like to have these behavioral codes or dress codes to act differently, and sitting with men, walking with men at night on various degree is actually a deviation, or I would say the struggle from the woman to come forward and participate with men in this space. So this capacity of negotiation is also depends on access of education and work, as we talked about. And this education and work basically give many women unprecedented access to public spaces with prevailing discourse and strategies that the women every day actually negotiate to access to public space. And in this regard, it is essential to highlight the fact that TSC and Ramna area is an institutional space. So the middle class user group view themselves as a modern, independent, and believe gender equality, right? And also, this belief is doesn't match with actual behavior, but it can be a positive sign in a way that it emerged, changing that the development through co-education system and representing the mass media, government or NGO initiatives are focusing on this area. That is coming up as in our society now. We can actually say that yes, we have gender equality, and it's improving since if we compare from 17th century and now, which is slow, but yes, it is improving. This is one of the scholars, Lifavue, if you know him, that it says, who starve to create new space, revolution, alter space of its own. To alter any power relations means to alter socio-spatial relation, crossing the boundaries, or reappropriate and threaten the social order. The social alternation cannot take place without the production of a new, altered, and liberation space. So as active participant, women, especially students and working women, struggle to redefine social realities and boundaries. And this is actually a big step for women in a society like us, in a conventional society, and eventually create a potential for altering socio-spatial boundaries as women comes forward for work or for education and access with a purpose even to the public space. So women who are pursuing higher education, working, or who are actively participating and manifesting in culturally in public space have crossed this significant boundary and have contributed to the change of this man-based landscape of the city. So although very small number that women are come forward, these women are continuously restructuring themselves with each changing situations, and at the same time creating their own counter space in the heart of the capital city. And that's how women, we are still negotiating public space in a context of the most significant place in the whole country, Ramla area. Still, women are negotiating and try to uh, gain their access to the public space. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you very much for your nice and interesting presentation. Can you hear, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, and thank you for giving us time from your busy schedule. And as a part of the summit, actually, the SDG Youth Alliance arranged this program, SDG Talk 2022. As Shakil Malik sir already said that the objectives of the program, but I also want to recap it again. Like the objectives of this program is to identify how youth can play an active role to implement the SDG goals, and at the same time, we want to explore what kind of support our young generations are in need of. Uh, as you, I think you know that SDG Youth Alliance is a joint platform of nine individual development organizations, and our knowledge partner is Global Center for Innovation and Learning. Dear audience, this program is now broadcasting from Facebook page, LinkedIn, and YouTube channel of Meslo Bangladesh. Thank you to our dear audience who already joined with us. Please stay with us and share our program. Right now, I want to introduce Nafizuddin Khan, who is another resource person of from Global Center for Innovation and Learning. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Can you hear me?
Thank you, Kishore Habib. I heard the presentation you made. This is a very interesting presentation. Uh,
Thank you so much.
just you, you have focused on urban situation. where women use the open space. I would like to know whether you have any thinking about the context of rural women, what they are doing.
Uh,
You
you
are
want you want to understand about the rural context?
yes, yes,
Okay, so like for the urban context, as I mentioned, it's because SDG is also focusing on the youth alliance, and in urban context we can see basically the public people access to public spaces comes from the youth people, right? The students who are accessing the public space because of the education, because of the work, they are the youth. So importance of youth in this urban context is very important. And for the rural context, the things are different, because you will see the rural context, women at the beginning, as I mentioned, are taking care of the home basically, and they are also as a working woman, but within the home they are managing the home environment, or the agricultural things comes up, they are helping out the family, but that is restrict to the home. So if a man, if there is a need for home things they to buy, for the rural context, the man goes to the bazaar, not the woman, in rare case. And that if you compare with this urban context, and the situation is improved, that even by negotiation, women actually go outside the home and buy their essentials. But in the rural context, you can see that is the reverse. So it is in a way very reverse situations, but it is improving from, I mean, before, in a way.
thank you,
I
thank
don't know if you agree with me or not.
No, there is development based on the goal 5, SDG goal 5. There are several development all through the country in Bangladesh.
Yeah, the
So
NGOs, the education, even from the government initiatives are coming, right? That actually improves the situation in the rural context as well, if we compare it from before. But still, I said that in the rural context, you have many challenges, and it's not easier for you to venture outside in the public space or go to the bazaar compared to the urban context.
the situation is developing. There are several developments. One another question to you: do you think in urban areas any individual woman can enjoy any open space even in Dhaka city?
Individual women can enjoy any open space in the Dhaka city.
Yeah.
Yes, they can enjoy, definitely, but there is a dress code for that, or there is a negotiation for that. So if an woman have to go, say for example, Crescent Lake, or they have to go to the Sarardi Udyan, so first of all, they have to get clearance or permission from their family. That's the first step. Why you are going there? There need to be a reason to be there. You cannot just go there alone for walking in the Sarodi Park. Where either you are going for a morning walk, that is a clear purpose, or you are going for enjoying cultural event, or with whom you are going. And even if you are get the clearance from your home, as you negotiate with your family, with your parents, your brother, whatever, our husband, and in your public space, you have to be comfortable. Like many women are not comfortable, so you have to take care of your dress. If it is in the morning, if it is a night, so what other people are looking at me, how they are looking at me. So it's not easier for women even to decide to go public space. Yes, there is a possibility, but you have to negotiate to achieve that possibility.
Yes, yes, right.
For the other hand, a man, like if your son or if yourself, you would like to go, you just say, I'm going outside. Doesn't matter, you don't have to clarify why you are going.
Yes, yes, right, right.
Okay. Ishwar ma'am, I want to add something.
Right,
With
please.
as now right now I am residing in Dhaka. So
Mhm.
I have a question actually, and like sense of ownership is very important for women or for everyone. Sense of ownership to feel free to use the space, right? But most of the time, women doesn't belong this sense of ownership for public space. How can we actually establish this sense of ownership?
Well, sense of ownership in public space. What do you mean by that? I mean, can
Actually
you?
it comes from heart. When we go outside, that uh, we feel hesitate, as you said, that we have to maintain this dress code, and we need to be some reason, so that the sense of ownership, it seems like I am not bound to, or I am not actually belong this space, something like that. It's not my space. The sense of ownership is something maybe.
Well, that is still a negotiation, right? The sense of ownership, and that comes from your comfort zone.
Yes, comfort zone, yes.
That the comfort zone comes from like when we are interviewing with people, the women said they are harassed
Mhm.
by words, by sometimes by pushed by man, sometimes by touch, inappropriate touch, and all those things. So in public space, sense of ownership for the women in Dhaka is still challenging. I would say it's not that it's not possible. It's possible, but it's challenging. So you are frequenting the space, like for example, TSC area, the cafe, the beside the cafe, the steps in front of the TSC. You will see the omens have some belongings there, so they go back to that place every single day after the after the class, and then sit beside with their friends, but still they are maintaining those dress codes, those uncomfortable zones, and all these negotiations, right? So you are visiting that public space, same space again and again, and that's how you can make, I would say that, make it more comfortable for you to be there.
Yes, and I also want to know one thing, that that sexual harassment, as you said, that unwanted touch, teasing, and bullying, something like that, is very common in Bangladeshi culture, and not only in Dhaka city but also all over the Bangladesh. Even if we observe that in Ramna, TSC, and other crowded spaces, in several public events, the types of sexual harassment took place. So, how women can overcome this issue actually?
Well, that is very, I
You
mean,
can do
very
it.
well. As an woman,
Um,
that these are the things that you have to face in the public space of Dhaka, anywhere, even in TSC. The most educated people are there, and and there is also care by the police and the government, and still you're facing those things. So how you can stop these things? I think the mentality of the man need to be changed, and women, as that's why women actually use the dress code, right? When they are even with the foreigners, my professors, women professors, they use the scarf. I did not ask them that don't use it or use it, right? She take the scarf from me, and then she use it to cover her head. And when I asked why you do that, and she said her observation, like, I saw when people are in this place, they cover the head. So it's kind of a respect you want to gain from the public space. I think to make it safe, women need to share their voices, like they have to protest, that you have to stop it, and then as well as the society need to be changed as a whole for women to make a safe place. But it's for the women that they need to step out, and they need to say, they share their voices, like, okay, this is bad, or this is, you have to stop, don't do that. So those kind of things need to be happen.
okay. So, dear Nafizuddin Khan, sir, sir, I want to know from you that we actually expect that our young generation will be a change maker, like positive change maker. So, what will be your advice to our young generation to stop this sexual harassment to women? Please, how they can take a role, they can play a role for this positive change.
I think uh, in the youth group, as most of youths are studying in educational institutions. One thing is missing in the education situation in Bangladesh is ethical education. It's missing in the education system. So ethical education should be introduced in the system throughout the educational institution. And this is one initiative can be. And I think in Bangladesh, the, the youth organization or children organization is not much active in throughout the country. So I think the children and youth can be involved in social organization so that they can understand the social situation. They can they can obey their parents. They can honor their teachers and all kinds of ethical issues. So the ethical issues is the main, I think, should be there.
So to add with you, Sir Nafis Uddin Khan, I think, as you rightly mentioned, the institutions need to take care of this ethics and teach the kids. And the youths are the one that who are going to lead our country and the society, right? But I
Yes,
think from the family also, it need to be comes from the family as well to teach your son and your daughter equally and teach the respect. So the basic education actually comes from the family, and then the kids goes to the institutions. So I think both family and institutions both need to work on it. And as you mentioned rightly, that the youths are who can actually able to change this conventional norms in the society and make accessible or usable for all to the public space.
sure, sure.
Dear audience, please stay with us and share our program. And thank you, Dr. Kishore Habib and Nafijuddin sir, for being with us. Please comments and share our program. And right now, I want to back to our honorable guest, Dr. Kishore Habib. In our society, actually, we have people from diverse background and culture, right? How can we ensure that everyone is respected and treated equally while using the open space?
That's again, it's from the Nafisuddin Khan's sir's comments that the institutions and the family actually need to work on it. The youth need to actually work on those norms from their family, starting as a starting point, and the institutions as well to teach people actually and to respect people. So it well, if even the institutions can teach you, right? But if that things, the norms that doesn't belongs to you from the very beginning when you're children, it's very difficult unless a person want to change himself. So the family is very important. The family's participations, families values are very important in the present situations to change the norms. But I think the NGOs are working very well. There are many educations all over the country is going, which already have improvements of the changes, but that need to be, more precise and more frequent, more specific for the woman, and make the man make it easier for them as well, like respecting women and giving access to women. Those need to be, yeah, part of everything. Basically, it's not one thing, but family, institutions, government, what everything is working together. That need to be comes up, and again, youth is in the front line and have a lot of potential to work on this.
Dear ma'am, we think about inclusive development. We have to think about children, pregnant women, disabled persons, and their safeties actually. But in Bangladesh, in our open and public spaces are not so friendly for this group of people, like children, disabled persons, and pregnant women. So, what changes we need to make at policy level?
Yeah, I think in general, in average, you can say there is not that inclusiveness is there, but I think the situation is changing, and in a policy level as well, there is an like for the old building or old constructions, those things already is there, but when there is a new constructions coming up, we saw that there is a institution of architects are working on it, and there is in a policy level there is laws that you have to pursue, have to taken care of when in the new construction. So I think the situation is getting better for the new constructions, but already that we have everything done like as a concrete jungle in Dhaka city or any other cities. uh, in that cases there's a difference because we did not think about before how to deal with these public spaces, right? We just built and without any precautions, but I think the awareness is there now and the society is changing.
Thank you for your valuable session. And actually, right now we are almost end of the program, and I have a last thing to know from you that I came to know that your book is going to publish soon on the topic reimagine public space. Can you please let us know about your book?
Yes, so sorry, I just saw that my battery, the laptop battery is almost dying.
It's
Yeah, so no, no, now it's okay. So the book that we are working on, it's reimagining public space. It's basically focused on in post-pandemic architecture and built environment, and the book focused on globally. So we have cases from different part of the world and how they perceive post pandemic situation, and they would like to improve the conditions. So, for example, uh, institutional space like schools in pre-pandemic time, you can access and all these things, but in pandemic time, the schools were closed, right? So there is a need to work on the schools that need to be flexible enough. The spaces need to be flexible. There need to be open spaces, and ventilations need to be taken care of. So in post-pandemic time, how we are taking care of the schools and how we are designing of the schools. So this is just one of the example. So it's again comes, I think it's very much in line with what SDG is working on, like in post-pandemic time, how the spaces, built environment need to be taken care of, as you mentioned, accessibility uh, of the people taken care of. So those are the particularities comes as well.
Yes, thank you. Your work seems to us very interesting, and I think our young generation who are watching right now are getting some ideas from today's discussion. And thank you. Right now, I want to read some comments. Someone commented that Shakil Malik sir, wonderful session. Thanks to both of you for such a nice topic of discussion. Learning a lot from you. Yes, I also want to thank Shakil Malik sir. And Sharmin Afroshumi, ma'am, already joined with us, and said that great questions. And Kishore, it's great to see you after such a long time. It's been more than 20 years. My heartiest gratitude for your response to this SDG talk. I also want to thank on behalf of Meslo Bangladesh and SDG Youth Alliance. Thank you again. And uh, dear Nafi Uddin Khan, sir, can you please tell us something for the young generation who are going to participate in this SDG Youth Summit? How can they take a good change in the society? Yes, please.
Actually, yours is the change agents. So they have a lot of potentialities to do something and something new in the for the future. And youths are the assets of any society. So they have to come on to the near future with their potentialities and to create new things and new changes in the society.
Thank you very much. I want to thank again, dear sir, Dr. Nafijuddin Khan, and I also want to thank Dr. Kishore Habib for being with us. And I hope that your research will show us a path to make progress in Bangladesh.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for inviting, and thank you, Sharmin and Shakil Bhai, for your invitation. It was really be nice to be here and talk and share my research. And if anyone wants to connect with me anytime, please feel free and connect with me. And for your education reasons, or if you would like to discuss about your research interest, and and yeah, I would be happy to help you. And thank you, Sharmin, for watching from your holidays in Kashmir. I hope you have a nice holidays.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Kishore, and thank you, Dr. Nafijuddin Khan.
Thank you.
Dear audience who are with us, thank you all again. Our next episode of SDG Talk 2022 will be coming soon with another interesting topic. We are also eagerly waiting for our SDG Youth Summit, from where we can start to build a better Bangladesh together. I wish the upcoming days will be peaceful, safe, and make us happy. Good night, everyone. Goodbye.